very difficult to get over there. So we're just going to stay here. And I can only expect perhaps a response from Republicans leaders, conservatives on the very much the pro-life side to come over here and address the crowd here. So stick with us, guys. This is a great time to share this stream, as we are constantly being shadow banned by streaming services. And I would expect with the headline that's on this stream right now, it is getting shadow banned. So look, you're at your desk at work, you're at home, you're in the car. Now would be an excellent time to share this broadcast as much as you can. Tag a friend, tag yourself, and share it again because we need to get the message out. We want to let everybody know that we are celebrating this decision today in our nation's capital. This is a time of celebration, of protecting the life of the unborn, and we are not going to allow the shadow banning of big tech to prevent that from happening. So if you want to do your part right now, we know you can't be here, but you can share this broadcast, comment, like, subscribe, and do whatever you can to get this message out there. Wow. So we woke up this morning, came out here. There was basically nobody here in front of the Supreme Court at about 8:30 in the morning. One or two people here. We didn't think it would turn into this. And we are very happy that it has turned into this. So it wasn't necessarily expected, even though when they added the Friday day to the calendar, it kind of gave us an indication that there was a possibility of today. There was about 13 court cases that were left to be decided on yesterday. A big one. They pretty much struck down a law in place in New York City that required you to give substantial proof that you needed to carry a handgun in the city of New York. And so that has been struck down. And so that violation of your Second Amendment, in my personal opinion, has been removed by the court. But at the same time, the Senate didn't pass a gun and safety bill, and it's been pushed to Congress. And Marjorie Taylor Greene talked about that a little bit earlier. So you had a win in the Supreme Court, but yet you might have had a setback on the same day in the Senate for Second Amendment rights. Well, today we're celebrating Roe v. Wade reversal, and we'll see exactly what plays out throughout the day. But we're glad you're here. What a beautiful day in our nation's capital. And so it's such a news-heavy day. Let's turn the cameras around here real quickly. These are the leaders. I got some thumbs down from the pro-choice movement. I'm just going to listen in here, see if there's any faces that you might recognize. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of you should be embarrassed type stuff. We've got some more people coming in here. I think I see yeah, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar coming as well, I believe. I can't see it from this way, but let's see. See if we can get comment from anybody. I'm not sure anybody's going to. Not very happy people though walking by us. I will say this: some very grimacing faces happening right now. Very angry individuals. Yeah, very angry. Like I said, we have Max. I saw Maxine Waters earlier. That's not her in front. Eric Swalwell walking by. Once again, we are live in front of the Supreme Court. Several elected officials walking by us right now had just made a few comments on the pro-choice side. Let's listen in and see if we can get a comment here. It is a very different mood that they have, very the opposite of a celebration right now. Obviously, The ruling did not go in the favor of what they wanted.
Precious. These babies are precious, and you are loved, and you are forgiven.
Let's talk.
Jesus will save.
I love the message that you're giving them because obviously they are not happy right now.
It's true. They're very upset.
There's a spiritual disconnect, I've said, with all of this.
Spiritual war. It's a battle going on, and it's good versus evil. And
Good versus evil.
We love these people. We love the babies, and we are for life and for nonviolence. And violence on babies is never okay.
Yeah, never okay. And I appreciate your words of encouragement here because I think walking by, they need to hear that.
God bless you and your baby. God bless you.
Look at her. She doesn't.
Happy birthday to your baby soon.
The disgust that she gave you is incredible.
Get a lot of shame on you. A lot of shame on you.
Yeah.
So it's okay. They're hurting, and we don't want that either. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you guys. God bless you all.
Maxine Waters walking by.
Who are you with?
With Right Side Broadcasting Network.
I am here to say that this is about women, but also about men. Men have daughters, they have wives, and men will be a part of this fight to prevent the rollback. We do trust women, and we're going to stand with them. This is only the genesis of a new beginning for a fight that will continue until women have the right to choose.
So you're saying right now women don't have the right to choose?
Well, I'm concerned about Roe versus Wade, and I know that in the state of Texas they won't. That's where I'm from.
I live there as well. So after 16 weeks, of course, abortion is off the table. But up until then, a woman does have the ability to get an abortion.
Well, what you've done is limited a woman to having the opportunity to choose before she realizes she's pregnant.
That's definitely one argument to the side. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Well, we did get one person to stop and talk to us. Respect to him for doing that.
Yeah.
Give us his idea. His take was, I don't know if you heard it, but he thinks that this is a setback to give women the right to choose what happens. I said, well, in the state of Texas, you do have a substantial amount of time to make that decision. He doesn't think 15 weeks is long enough. That was his opinion.
We held the 5-week-old babies to I think around 34-week-old babies that were found in DC, and so holding those children and seeing even the hand formed at 5 weeks gestation.
And they feel pain.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No. All right, guys, we're live here in front of the Supreme Court as the ruling has dropped earlier today, the reversal of Roe v. Wade. And of course, you're getting an idea of what it looks like here. Jubilation, joy, prayer, worship, music. But then on the other side, there is sadness. There is, unhappy people right now going on. Yes, we're live on the air right now. So just let you know. What's your name?
I'm Camille Pauley with Healing the Culture.
Okay.
So we're a pro-life organization that's been battling this horrible decision from Roe versus Wade for 35 years. And I'm so excited to be here tonight with the future of the pro-life generation.
It's incredible, this announcement coming today. And, as I said this earlier, this could be one of the most historical moments in our country that we've seen in decades.
It's been a big battle. It's a battle for the human heart to see the intrinsic dignity of the human person and recognize that all human beings are made with sacred dignity and need to be protected in the law. I'm proud of what our Supreme Court did today.
I don't know if you saw the reaction of some of those of our legislators walking behind us. They're depressed. They're sad. They're angry.
Yes, I understand. This has been a battle for them too, and we're going to be praying for them and working for their hearts as well. They need to be on this side.
I think it's important that we do extend those prayers to them. It's easy to say, yes, we won and be joyous, but at the same time, they've got a lot of healing to do. They've got a lot of self-reflection to do. And I think it all starts with their connection with God, to be honest with you. I think it's a spiritual warfare, and they've been sucked down this vicious tunnel thinking that killing the unborn baby is not only justified, but it's your right.
That's true. And I think what you said is very true. They've been fed a bunch of lies about what it means to be a human person. And that's part of their grief today. Today we celebrate. Tomorrow we work for their hearts as well.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier. I love the way you said that. We can celebrate today, but tomorrow it's back to work. And of course, I had one guy stop. I don't know who he was with. I didn't ask him. But he says he lives in Texas and he thinks that this decision strips away the right for a woman to have an abortion. I say, well, if in certain cases right now you can still do that at 15 weeks. And he says that's not long enough. A woman needs longer to do that. What's your response to his argument there?
This decision doesn't strip away any rights because it was a right you never had in the first place. This decision helps us as human beings learn how to love.
Yeah. And then you have really radical states, I believe New Jersey, California, that actually gives a woman the decision to either, kill the baby after birth. There's radical things that are going on. And so it seems like it does not stop. It's pure evil to begin with.
It doesn't. In my state, the state of South Dakota, we have a trigger law, so abortion will become immediately illegal. There's no more abortions being performed in our state as of this day, and it's a wonderful thing, but there are a lot of states where the battle will continue.
Wow, something else. Well, it's just a moment in history that you and I are witnessing right now, and I know that you've been out here and praying for this country and praying for this decision.
For 30 years, we have, praise God, on this feast day of the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Last question. Whenever the announcement went down, what was the first thing in your mind? Did your stomach just drop and you couldn't believe it?
No, it was joy, and thank you, God.
Thank you, God. Thank you so much for come over here. Thank you so much. God bless you. And that's, there are hundreds just like her out here. Let's turn the camera around real quickly. I'm going to take a quick check. I don't know if we have an ability to toss it back to Liz Willis in the studio. I don't know if she is in the studio already, and if Master Control can give me a heads up on that. I would love to be able to toss to her for a few minutes. Not going to do that right now. We want to remind everybody that this fight, it takes patriots to do what we do right now. And Mike Lindell over at MyPillow is the patriot that has allowed this network to cover stories like this. Guys, it takes money and resources, and through the generous partnership of MyPillow and Mike Lindell, we're able to do this. So I just want to encourage everybody right now. It's a glorious day in our country. And of course, Mike Lindell has been a victim of cancel culture with the Walmart situation. And before that, with every other retailer. If you want to step up to support a patriot like him, today's a great day to do it. Go to his website, mypillow.com, put that promo code RSBN and get up to 66% off your entire order. Now we've got let's hop over here real quickly. Let's see, we've got something going on over here. Hang on. AOC's coming this way.
Keep on the report of the murder of unborn children. Despicable.
Want to share your thoughts?
Can we get out of here? We have a member with us.
We can't get on this side?
Yeah.
Can I jump over?
No, it's open down here.
There's nobody going fine. It's like further down.
Yep. Just a mob right now for AOC. We are not going to try to get through there, as the mob has just really consumed this whole area. And I've even got to question her logic of marching through here like she did. AOC making her way through here, obviously on the other side. So I am just waiting for conservative leaders to come over here and spend a few minutes with us. I have no idea why AOC just came right through this area. For a second, I thought we had a chance to maybe stop and get a comment, but she was trying to get out of this gate here. We're going to pretty much keep our head on a swivel here, as you're going to start to see people come out here and provide their comment on what has happened. It would be really rough for us to try to get over there in that direction, so we are not going to attempt to go around that crowd. I'm not quite sure we'd be able to even see anything anyway. She is in front. I don't think you can get it from here, but she is out front saying that was a little ridiculous. Yes, it was a little ridiculous for a second. But that's the situation right now. You know, you've got now thousands of people have assembled on the steps of the Supreme Court. And I did notice moments before that happened, Capitol Police were kind of getting geared up to do something. And we're going to toss momentarily to Liz Willis, who's in the studio, to give us a quick break here on the ground. We're kind of repositioned. So we're reporting live here in front of the Supreme Court. We're going to toss it over to Liz Willis in the Right Side Broadcasting Studios. Take it away, Liz.
Thank you, Brian Glenn. Again, this is Right Side Broadcasting Network, and we are live at the United States Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court has just decided that the Constitution does not confer a right to abortion. So Roe and Casey are overruled, and the authority to regulate abortion is returned to the people and their elected representatives. This is very important because a lot of people are misled and undereducated when it comes to understanding what it means with this opinion here today. We're giving Brian Glenn a quick break at the steps of the Capitol right now. As you can see, he's got a lot going on there today for pro-abortion activists, as well as pro-choice and anti-abortion activists as well. But we're excited to be there to be able to provide you this historic coverage. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to take something out of my ear really quick. That's quite loud. All right, you guys, I can hear myself a little bit better, but thank you guys for tuning into Right Side Broadcasting Network. Again, we're going to do a split screen. So not only are you getting me, but you're also getting the live footage of the Capitol. You've seen prayer circles. We've seen people using microphones to speak as well and to pray over the lives, to rejoice. They are dancing. They are doing karaoke. They've got bubbles. They are partying and truly celebrating. And that's such a beautiful thing to see in the United States Capitol. Really interesting turn of events earlier today. If you were watching this right before the decision really broke out today, the Capitol Police kind of dismantled. They were there and then they weren't there. So really interesting turn of events. It's almost like they knew something was about to happen and they just wanted to get out of the way. So we're gonna have to find out what happened exactly and why they weren't there when things really could have clashed. But it looks like overall today it has been a very, very peaceful protest. Now, if you're looking at the history of when events like this are announced, it does take a few hours for some of these groups. I'm sure we can expect some rioters at some point in different cities later today, possibly even the Capitol. So hopefully police presence will continue to grow as we go further into the day. And I hope that everyone tonight is going to stay safe. I know Brian Glenn, man, when I tell you what we've got going on this week, it's a busy week. And I'm watching this footage with you here right now, crazy footage, and this group is getting bigger and bigger by the seconds. We can only imagine what tonight's footage is going to look like. We know the left and the way they are, how they were when I was living in DC during the BLM riots. Nighttime was a scary place to be in Washington, DC. I never left the building, so I'm hoping that it doesn't turn back into similar times tonight. Hopefully people decide to be normal, but knowing the left and the way that they react with their emotions, that's not going to happen. I'm really hoping everyone stays safe and remains peaceful. And Brian did a great job trying to get some of those interviews earlier today. I would have loved a reaction from AOC, as I'm sure the majority of our audience would as well. So I want to remind you guys, if you're just now tuning in, we are live, Right Side Broadcasting Network. I'm at the studio, and Brian Glenn is in Washington, D.C. He was there when the opinion was released today. This was 2 out of 2 opinions released today. Really interesting turn of events here as well. Yesterday was half opinion day, half discussion day. Today was a full opinion day. Yesterday, I believe we did 5, possibly 5 opinions, and today it was the second one. So 10 minutes into their 10 a.m. Eastern time start to release these opinions, that Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization dropped. And I think we were all a little shocked. We didn't actually expect to see it. We've been waiting for it for so long. I mean, you guys know, many of you have been waiting for this for 50 years, but we finally saw it, and it came out fast this morning. So it looks like we've got some more AOC walking out of the Capitol, walking around the Capitol right now. Not a good day for Democrats, but a great day for Republicans, conservatives, and Christians. Anyone really who just loves the children, wants to save the babies. And so many people, as Brian has interviewed earlier today, that have been working for decades. It's kind of interesting to get behind the scenes and see what people are doing every single day. We interviewed a young girl earlier who said, and this blew my mind, but she said since February, she and her friends, her group of friends, have been at the Capitol every single opinion day, at the Supreme Court every single opinion day, waiting and praying and hoping for this opinion to drop. That is so much time devoted to this, and it's really incredible to know that this is constantly going on. So I love that Brian's able to be there today and to provide this live stream. I haven't seen anything like it across social media today. I thought more people would be there live streaming, but thankfully Brian Glenn did, and I know that he's talked about a little bit about his personal story and why he is so pro-life. And it's similar to my mom's story of why she is so pro-life as well. So my mom was put up for adoption in a really tragic case when she was born, and ultimately adopted by the most incredible family in the world. And if my biological grandmother had chosen to do the easier choice at that time, which would have been to get an abortion, then my mom wouldn't have been here and wouldn't have had all 5 of her children. So really grateful for my biological grandmother to make that decision, for Brian's parents to make the decision to, give birth to him and to continue that pregnancy. And I think that all of our parents would just be really proud right now. I know so many people are rejoicing across this country and across the world for the United States to finally make this right, for the Supreme Court to go back and say, you know what? The Constitution does not cover your right to abortion. It covers a lot of things, but it does not cover your right to abortion. Now, this does not mean that abortion is banned, although plenty of people here today are going to continue to advocate for that and go to the states at this point. But right now, the Supreme Court has said that we are not banning it, but right now it is not our job federally to protect this right. We are going to give this to the states. So this is going to the states, and the states can now decide, effective immediately, if they want to, support their abortion laws or not. And so these are going to be the elected officials. This is why it's so important to vote, not just at a federal or a national election level, but also at your state level. So your state representatives, your congressmen, your senators, your governors, all of this is so important that they are able to work together and work on your behalf for what you want. It looks like we've got another interview that Brian Glenn has lined up. So we're going to toss back over to the steps of the Supreme Court right now. I want to thank you guys for tuning into our coverage and continue watching throughout the day as these events unfold. Over to you, Brian.
Guys, we're back here live in front of the Supreme Court. I'm joined by Congressman Tim Burchett from the great state of Tennessee. Your thoughts on what has played out here earlier today?
I'm incredibly excited. God has blessed this nation. It talks about in the Bible where 2 or more are gathered. Obviously, there's more than 2 or more today. And so I think the Lord will continue to bless this nation because of this decision. I can't imagine the number of lives that have been saved because of this. But as I've stated, this is not a peak. This is a plateau. We have to build on this because it still exists in several states. In Tennessee, there are trigger laws that are going to effect immediately.
Yeah, I think we had just heard that South Dakota was another state that had trigger laws. Okay, let's talk about the intimidation that a lot of these Supreme Court justices went through from not only the media, people in front of their houses demonstrating. Did you have any doubt that maybe that might sway their decision and what they did today?
I didn't, because the conservative justices are principled people and they understand their place in history. But I do lay anything at the foot of Democrat leadership, specifically Speaker Pelosi, because they've delayed the bill, and they further delayed it today by attaching it to something else so that they cannot provide security for their families. And that's just wrong. It's completely wrong. You walk by, you look at all the liberal legislators that walk through here with their guards and everything around them, and we don't get that as conservatives.
Well, I will say this, here is Tim standing all by himself here on the street here. AOC came ripping through here about 10 minutes ago with an entourage that I've never seen before. It's okay if she's surrounded with heavily armed body armor type, law enforcement. You come out here. Where's your protection?
It's back in Tennessee. Unfortunately, you can't carry up here, although I do have a permit to carry up here. But that's basically it's that it's a double standard. They don't want us to have it, but yet they take full advantage of it. And this is just a good example of finally the American people have woken up. 20 million people, 20 million evangelical Christians stayed home, and that's why Joe Biden's in the White House. And we need to remember that. They're building on this. They're strategizing. We're celebrating. After the celebration, let's go home and get back to work.
It seems like a victory today. Now, let's talk about yesterday. It was a victory for Second Amendment advocates for the striking down that New York law, preventing law-abiding citizens from carrying a weapon to defend themselves. They found that as a defeat, and of course, the Senate yesterday passing a bill for safety. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, everybody asks me, where's my permit to carry? And I say, it's right here. It's called the Constitution of the United States. My dad fought for this country in the Second World War, and my mama lost a brother. She actually flew an airplane. So it's kind of ironic that all these liberals, we just sent $40 billion unchecked dollars to arm Ukrainian citizens. And those very same people are spending today to disarm America. To me, that is law-abiding citizens, I might add. And so it's there's a clear divide in this country, and we better wake up. We better wake up, because it'll all be over like that if we're not careful.
Let's look ahead to November 8th of this year. We've got a very crucial midterm election coming up. Thoughts on how this plays out, and does this become a campaign platform to run on that you're in support of the overturning of Roe versus Wade? Before, we didn't know, so nobody, but you can now say, are you for it or are you against it? And is this something that someone should campaign on?
Absolutely. I think we should focus on the fact that elections have consequences, and the price of gasoline is just keeps going up, regardless of how many laws they pass. And that's the irony of all these laws that they pass. We're going to stop gun violence. Well, look at Chicago. They're not paying any attention to that. They passed a so-called anti-gouging bill, which didn't do that. Look at the price of gas. It's still going up. So it just keeps going on and on and on. We've got to have law-abiding citizens that get to the polls, that understand the sacrifices that people made, because if we don't, again, it's over.
And the pro-life is a decision that you guys need to take that into consideration the next time you want to cast your vote for a particular candidate. Are they pro-life, or do they walk the fence? Because now they have to be on one or the other. Let's talk about Joe Biden real quickly. Oil executives were in town yesterday. He invited them to come.
Didn't meet with them. He did not meet with them.
But instead met with wind-powered companies.
Yeah, he's just sending a message. He, when liberals tell us something, we ought to start believing it, because he said during the debate with Bernie, he said, I'm going to raise gas to $7 a gallon. He said, I'm gonna put the oil business out, put the oil companies out of business, and he's effectively done that. And his press secretary will say, "Oh, we permitted the wells." Well, they permitted some wells, but they haven't permitted the pipelines to carry that. So, and it is a world commodity, and he continued to buy gasoline or oil, from Russia, which basically just funded the war in Ukraine. It's complete Washington double talk, and the president is not well. And I worry more about our country if Kamala Harris becomes president, honestly.
One last thing I want to ask you, and this was broke yesterday. The cue cards, the cheat sheet that President Biden had that was turned around, a photographer was able to get that cheat sheet, and it said, "You will sit here.
Yeah.
You will ask this." What's your thoughts on that? I know a lot of health officials have said that this is a sign of dementia.
Well, of course it is, and I'll tell you, my one time to meet the president, it was after our bipartisan prayer breakfast, the congressional prayer breakfast, and I didn't leave while he was speaking. A lot of people did, and I didn't like it when they did that to Trump. I want to show respect to the office. I don't like the man, but so I'm walking out. He's there by the escalator, and after a long series of events, I was just standing there right with him. And I said, "Mr. President," I said, "I don't agree with the dadgum thing you do." I said, "But I try to pray for you every day," which I do. And he started to talk to me, and honestly, it reminded me when I'd go visit my father at the veteran nursing home. Daddy had a massive stroke, but I'd go visit the Alzheimer's patients, some of them, the old veterans had Alzheimer's. And it reminded me a lot of that, because the words he was saying were not in line. They didn't match up. And if I could have had a recording of it, maybe it would have put it together. Maybe I could have put it together, made a sentence. But the truth was that it didn't make any sense. And I immediately went from anger to pity, because I realized somebody is propping him up, and it is wrong. And they should have never put him on the ballot. This whole thing is just a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. And you got to feel sorry for him, because obviously he needs to be told exactly what he needs to do. sit down, speak, toss, and we'll put up, see if there's on social media, there's probably a picture of what we're talking about. It is sad, and
I've seen it, and I've seen the Q card, and they're trying to say, oh, that's doctored. No, I've talked to too many. The Democrats, if you talk to the Democrats off the record, they'll tell you the exact same thing.
Well, it makes you ask, who's really in charge? I mean, who's really making decisions? I mean, this is the guy that's supposed to be
Probably
making
his chief of staff, probably, or people that got his ear, probably hangovers from the Obama administration. And you just know the whole deal is the whole cabal, I guess you could say, is still running Washington.
Let's talk about Tennessee real quick, the great state of Tennessee. I mean,
Yes, sir.
challenges, what your constituents, what are they concerned about?
Well, Tennessee is a great state. We have zero debt. Honestly, we have zero debt. We have constitutional amendment that prevents the state income tax, one of the lowest tax states in the nation. People are coming in, U-Haul trailers. They said Tennessee is the #1 state in the union for one-way rentals. So people are coming in. And as I state, I love my New Yorkers that move in. I don't like your New York values. So if y'all can kind of curtail that, there's a reason we're a low tax state. And the reason people are coming in is because of that. But and it's oddly enough, Tellico Village, an area I represent, is a lot of folks that have an accent, whereas you and I don't have an accent. And they are more conservative than you and I are.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to that.
And to your point, you can, if you're coming to Texas, leave those liberal policies at the state line because we don't want them there. Well, one last thought. The left has promised violence. They've had a night of violence, and you can't assume that they're not going to do that.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I just wonder if we're going to have a June 24th commission to study all the violence because. The liberals are going to, you see it. They're just trying to bait these good conservative folks. And there'll be professional antagonizers out here that are paid to start some violence, and they'll blame it on the pro-lifers. Yep. And so I just hope people are really cautious. It's going to be dangerous. And Washington, D.C. is a dangerous town. It is a dangerous town. And the only people who can carry a gun up here are the police and the criminals.
Yeah. Well, God bless you being out here. If people want more information about you and your campaign and what you're doing in Tennessee, the best website, social media for that?
At Tim Burchett, TimBurchett, and Burchett for Congress. You can find it on the internet, and we'd love to have you on board. Thank you.
Thank you. Be safe out here. Nice suit, by the way. You look sharp. He ain't worried about it. He's from Tennessee. He ain't worried about it. Well, that's some great to share his thoughts on this. And let me just step aside. Obviously, the crowd has grown significantly after the announcement. And so we had AOC, kind of charge her way through here earlier, trying to, I guess, in a way, make a statement, which, we saw earlier. Everyone else had made their approach behind the barrier there. That was a protected barrier, but not AOC. She wants to come right smack dab in the middle of the street. And like you go back after this broadcast, you'll be able to see it, surrounded by security, and make her way over there. So we have not heard from her formally yet from this side. Now, I am waiting for some type of Republicans to come out of the Capitol Hill, which is behind the camera, to come over here and perhaps make a statement, because I think that would be appropriate at this point. You heard from Matt Gaetz earlier, his comms director, executive producer of his podcast Firebrand, released Matt Gaetz' statement, very much supporting what the Supreme Court has handed down today. We also heard from herself, Marjorie Taylor Greene, came right through here. And I will say this, without any security, without any big beefed up military police presence, she came through here and spent a few minutes with us. You can go back and watch this after the replay, perhaps catch those clips that are online as well. I'm constantly looking down the street there. And maybe we need to show people exactly where we're at. Let's go ahead and walk down here to this corner and give them a bird's eye view at Capitol Hill, which is just really right behind or I should say in front of the Supreme Court here. So it gives you an idea of just how wide the presence and gathering here is. A lot of people are in town, obviously, for vacation, and people are here touring our nation's capital. And I'd say if this is your day that you're visiting the Capitol, what a historic day to do it. So you got a lot of people from schools and youth groups and things like that come out here to show and be a part of history, actually. All right, so there gives you a good look at the Capitol there. And so just on the other side, obviously, is I would say the front of the Capitol, at least the area that the notorious January 6 events took place on the other side of the Capitol there. This has been blocked off, obviously, for security purposes, as I think they are maybe in the infant stages of kind of securing this area for nightfall. Now, these barriers, the little ones along the Supreme Court here, were in place, so that's nothing new there. Obviously, the 12-foot, 13-foot high fences that has been in place too. I think that's been in place for months, rather, after this decision was even an option at that point. Those were erected, so those are up in place now. As far as the number of officers that we're seeing, I can't tell you that it's any more than what. Thank you. It's any more than what has been here all along, and actually, I'd say in the street itself, and that's a kind of a good vantage point here. If you look down First Street here, on the northeast corner of First, you'll see that there is probably no place for the police to be on the street. They are off to the side on the curbs. So, yeah, what's that? Okay, the pro-life people, I've been told, are marching. Let's see if we get a little march. I'm not sure where they're headed. Let me see. You can stay right there. Let me see if I can dip in and find out where they're going. Are you guys going to go march somewhere? I didn't know if you guys were marching or not. Okay. They're just leaving. Okay. All right. So they're just leaving. Yeah. Well, get your thoughts on everything. Yeah, if you want to. Come on. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm going to ask you the question I've asked a million times today. How does it feel to have this decision reversed by the Supreme Court?
Human dignity is finally being upheld in our nation, and it's the greatest day ever.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible to just be here and to know that God put us on earth right at this time to see this happening. So it's life-changing.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on the anger and the viciousness that you're seeing? I mean, they walked by and we saw elected officials walk by us, just like mean mugging us, to lack of a better word. They're so angry right now. What's your thoughts on that?
I think responding to violence with violence is just a terrible thing. And I really think that if we are trying to uphold life, and if they want to love life and love women like they claim to, they should not be responding with those mean remarks.
There was a prayer service going on while we were in break, and it was a prayer circle of about a dozen people, and a lady with a homemade sign dipped in there, and it said, "You should be ashamed of yourself." And it was a picture of a coat hanger, things like that. But what she said is, someone said, "Ma'am, they're praying." She goes, "I don't care that they're praying." And my immediate reaction, and we were on the air, I would have said this anyway. I said, you need to be concerned that they're praying. You need prayer in your life, or you wouldn't be so angry at what's going on. What's the connection between pro-life and having a spiritual relationship and a connectedness with our Lord Jesus Christ?
Well, I think that obviously the Bible is very pro-life. God created all humans at conception. He knows us in the womb, and he creates us in his inmost being, and he knows everything about us before we're even created. So to be pro-life is to be pro-Bible and to have a deep connection with the Lord.
And abortion is the result of a godless nation. And I think that this is the time that we were made for, and that God is calling us right now to stand for life, just like everyone here is.
Yeah, this is great. What a beautiful sight. I'll step aside. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless for you guys taking time. Let's just listen in on what it's like to be here right now as we're live in front of the Supreme Court, now in front of the Capitol.
God bless this country. A lot of prayers have been answered today with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. We're going to end the sin of abortion in every single state, and you're going to see it happen because God is an amazing God, and he can do anything.
God is sovereign over this decision today. His hand was on all these events here. This country, this is the start of something huge, the greatest advance in human rights in our country's history.
Before I let you go, nice jacket, by the way. We both got our
Yes,
pens and thing. Way to go. Good choice. Thank you. Wonderful. Got some students walking by here. Students for Life Action.org. Students for Life. So it looks like they're basically.
No. Moving, guys. Keep it moving.
Yeah, we have to keep it moving. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, they're leaving this area. And I would imagine at this point, thank you so much. Thank you for being there. You're going to see at this point, perhaps a lot of the demonstrations starting to kind of break up as it's been about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more since the announcement. And of course, the celebration of this reversal. But I will say, when you see the green banners down there, that is the pro-choice side. And it seems like they're still here. Like they haven't at any step of the imagination have gone away. Real quickly, I want to talk to this gentleman real quick, if we can. Sir, we're live on the air. I just want to get your thoughts that we were able to use the speaker system today, and we're thankful for that.
Absolutely. I've been working with sound systems for 30 years. Never thought I'd get to be here today.
Yeah.
Just very glad that my sound system and a podium that my brother, who didn't live to see this day, helped me build, got to be here at the court today to see the end of this horrible thing. And as a product of rape, I know that my work just begins, because as the state legislatures start looking at this on a state level, the first people they're going to throw under the bus to get legislation passed is products of rape. And I'm going to be out there fighting every day to make sure that doesn't happen.
God bless you. And I'm talking about earlier, there was a point he did not think he'd be able to use this speaker system, but the pro-choice side had been using their speaking system all week and actually playing profanity music over prayer. And he was approached by someone that said, look, you may have to remove your speaker. I'm glad that didn't.
4 times we were threatened, and the last time it was threatened with 90 days in jail if we didn't shut down our sound, and yet they hadn't even talked to the pro-abortion side at all.
But at the end of the day, this speaker,
we got it through the event.
Yeah, God bless. And I think your brother, he's here with you in this, without a doubt. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. We appreciate it. What a heartfelt story, and that's one of a lot of stories out here right now. You know, it's been a very emotional day. We've talked to people that were adopted. We've talked to people that have gone through different circumstances of why they have chose to be on the pro-life side, and it's going to be one of those days. It's going to take a while, and we'll kind of digest a little bit of all of this when we break away from here and decide, okay, let's let the emotions take over and just be thankful that we were able to witness history here in front of our Supreme Court. I mean, it's been decades and decades and decades of this decision, and it's finally been released. So just a historical day here. But we do want to remind everybody, we will continue to monitor the situations here in our nation's capital, as, you know, there has been a lot of rhetoric and chat that there would be a night of violence, not only here in DC, but around the country. So we will continue to monitor all of that, not only here in DC, but across the country, and hopefully be able to share some of that experiences with you. But we're glad you're joining us today. And I said this at the top of the broadcast. I mean, today was going to be one of those, we didn't know what to expect. We know that sometimes you hear a lot of harsh language, and that comes out of events like this. So let's see, go ahead. Get some developments on here. States right now with trigger bans include Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Those are states with what's called trigger bans right now that goes into effect. So today, just a huge win for the pro-life movement, and I keep monitoring Capitol Hill over there thinking that we might get some more of our elected officials come in here. That has not happened yet, but we will continue to monitor the situation here all day long and all night long. And as a program reminder, we will be live tomorrow in Illinois for President Trump's rally there. It's been a couple weeks since he's had a rally. We'll be live there on the ground, Liz Willis and myself, bringing you all the coverage starting at noon Central Time tomorrow. And of course, President Trump is scheduled to speak at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. President Trump is scheduled to speak on that. We remind everybody also to follow us on social media platforms, Truth Social, Getter, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Subscribe to us on Rumble. And I'm going to pause for a second to talk about the significance of Rumble, because early on we would go through a lot of election integrity time and we found that we were removed from other streaming platforms and we did not have the ability to push our message out. And it was the folks over at Rumble that really came together and built an incredible platform that enabled us to shift a lot of the views and a lot of content that we normally could not stream on other platforms onto Rumble. So Rumble has been instrumental of letting us do that. And it's all been about free speech for Rumble. That's how they built the platform, based on free speech. It's not necessarily conservative. It's just a platform for free speech. And so we want to thank Chris and the guys over at Rumble for putting together such an amazing platform that enables us to bring content like today. Because I would imagine the title of this broadcast right now, just the pure nature of it at this point has probably been shadow banned to a certain degree. It's probably gotten a lot of attention of big tech. So it's important that you guys subscribe to us over at Rumble and follow us on all of our social media platforms as well. Subscribe to us, our newsletter. Go to our website, rsbnetwork.com. Click on the subscription for the newsletter. Put in your email, some information. We'll push those articles out to you. And by all means, download our app. It's on the Apple. It's on our Android platforms. You can download that, have it right in front of your hand. So when we go live on late breaking news, you'll get a notification that we're here on the ground. You can do just that. You can follow me across the board as well at Brian Glenn TV across Instagram, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, across the board on that, Facebook as well. Let me step aside. It seems like the level of noise, I guess you could say, a lot of noise coming, that's subsided a little bit. And of course, we'll monitor that as the night goes along. I'm thinking local time here because we're going to monitor the situation here. It is 12:05. Let's see what we can do here at this point. I'm going to make sure that we let's take one more last look. We're going to walk down here, guys. It's just right after lunchtime. We're going to walk down here. And we're going to give you kind of an idea of what it looks like here in front of the Supreme Court. Then we're going to break, and we're going to monitor the situation here in D.C. And if things come up, we are ready to go live as soon as things happen. So that's why it's so important right now to subscribe to us and make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. Follow me as well at Brian Glenn TV, because I'm going to be walking the streets here as the afternoon unfolds, being able to give you live updates via social media of things that develop. Okay, so it does look like the pro-choice side has assembled a little bit. So it has almost turned out to be a, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and post up over here. What we're going to do is we are going to end our broadcast right now. As a reminder, if you missed anything at the top of the show, go back and watch it and share this broadcast. We're going to end it here. So I'll leave you this, the shot of the Supreme Court as we sit here on this very historic day in our nation's capital. Roe v. Wade reversed by the Supreme Court of the United States. Until next time, goodbye. God bless from our nation's capital.